Step 1. Domain name. The same way you have a mailing address, you need an easy-to-remember web address. This starts with investing in a domain name. It's heartbreaking to me to see business owners who use a free web host, but don't even take the time to invest in a domain name. If you are on a budget, it's not hard to forward a domain name to your free web hosting. The fees are usually small and sometimes free. Having a domain name on your business cards and social media profiles speak volumes to your credibility. If you are an author, the domain name is usually yourname.com. For branding purposes, it's always best to use your name or your pen name. When you do a domain name search, sometimes the name you want may be taken, so it's good to have a list of alternatives. For example, one of my author clients, Monique Miller, wanted moniquemiller.com for her domain name, but it was already taken at the time. She opted for authormoniquemiller.com. A few years later, she was able to obtain the domain name of her choice. As you explore domain names, think about whether people will have a hard time spelling your name or if someone shares your name. Author Tia McCullers ran into this issue and uses not only tamccall or s.com but also tiawrites.com. Both domain names are directed to her author website. Author Stacey Hawkins Adams was smart enough to realize that her first name, Stacy, which is spelled with a Y, could also be spelled Stacy with an E and Y. She purchased her main domain name, StaceyHawkinsAdams.com, using both spellings. Have you written a list of possible domain names yet? Here are a few of the most popular registrars. Domain.com, GoDaddy.com, Registrar.com. After you choose a registrar, type in your domain name to check for the name's availability. There are other extensions like .org, .net, .tv, but most of the time .com is preferred for a person. It's the first extension most people became familiar with when they started using the internet. I have had many non-techie clients successfully do this process on their own, but I do want to take a moment to let you know that there are web design and web hosting companies that will take care of all of this for you. I think it's always a good idea to understand what you are purchasing and why. I've always told clients to purchase these items on their own so that they can be sure they are the owner of the domain name, which is very important. Now, if the domain name of your choice is available, I recommend 1, purchasing for more than a year, and 2, setting the payment renewal on automatic. Many people have lost ownership of domain names by missing the renewal window. When you see an email from your domain registrar, pay attention. I had an experience where my credit card expired, so the renewal didn't go through. Yikes! I'm so glad I stay on top of my email. One other piece of advice: if you have multiple domain names, keep all of them at the same registrar. It's just easier to manage them in one location. Workbook. Step 1. Invest in a domain name. You may use the free workbook download or your own notebook for the questions below. List a few domain choices, with the first one being your preferred domain name. Record and compare pricing from domain companies. Is it cost savings for you to purchase more than 1 year at a time? Did you record your expenses or keep receipt for budget and tax purposes later? Did you select auto renewal?